Where hardwood forests give way to Alaska's rising interior sits Denali National Park. And where the land reaches up through the clouds sits Alaska's crowning glory, Mount McKinley, 20,320 feet, North America's tallest peak, a good mile higher than any other contenders in the lower 48. The Athabascan Indians call it Denali, the Great One. The first expedition to the top of McKinley was in 1910, but the climbers made a tactical error and found that they had ascended the wrong peak. 3 years later, Episcopalian minister Hudson Stuck made his way to the true summit of McKinley and found the best view of heaven mortal man could ever hope for. Denali is a preserve in the truest sense. Unlike many national parks in America, its ecosystem is fully intact. Animals wander through undisturbed habitat with the kind of complete freedom Alaska stands for. Like much of Alaska, the first rush to Denali was for gold in the early 1900s. But one early visitor, Charles Sheldon, saw the abundance of wildlife of such extraordinary value, he fought to get the area protected as a national park. President Woodrow Wilson made it official with his signature in 1917. A marathon, run through urban streets and around high-rise buildings. There is only one city in Alaska that could contain such a race: Anchorage. Anchorage is Alaska's largest city. It can claim itself to be fashionable when the rest of Alaska's towns are merely functional. The quick retort is that the real Alaska starts about 10 miles outside Anchorage. Despite the polite sparring, about half of all Alaskans live here. Anchorage, during the summer solstice, is a perfect place to stage a race. But the real excitement comes to Anchorage in the very last days of winter. The Iditarod, the world's longest dog sled race. Over 1,000 miles from Anchorage to Nome. Run over an old mail route, the original race in 1925 was not a competition. It was a race to save lives. Mushers were carrying serum to inoculate children in Nome against a diphtheria epidemic. That heroic relay spawned an annual event held every March, which Alaskans will always call the last great race.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! On his way to Nome this morning, our first musher out of the chute.
Brooks Falls in Alaska's Katmai Peninsula, one of Alaska's classic haunts of brown bears drawn to the river when it becomes engorged with salmon. Brown bears, or grizzlies, can weigh up to 1,000 pounds and reach a height of 9 feet. Their size all comes down to the availability of food, and these feeding grounds starting in high summer are as good as it gets. Like any good fisherman, technique is everything, and some grizzlies are more skilled than others. But for even those a little slower on the draw, patience rewards everyone in the end. The Trans-Alaska Pipeline, an 800-mile marvel threading from Prudhoe Bay in the Arctic North through 3 mountain ranges, across the Yukon River, and down to the port of Valdez on the Gulf Coast. Through 4-foot-wide heated steel conduit, billions of barrels of black gold flow with as much purpose as any river in Alaska. Oil, more than anything else, has forced Alaska to examine itself and all it stands for. An often contentious brew of politics, money, the environment, and land settlements. It has been a delicate balance from the beginning, and always will be. But the flow of oil never stops, even under the light of the midnight sun. The eagle is the proudest of American symbols and chief emblem of many Alaskan native clans. One native tale is of a small boy who befriended the eagle. His elders chastised the boy for feeding the bird when the tribe could barely feed itself. But when times turned particularly hard and the tribe was starving, the eagle returned the boy's generosity and brought him untold riches of fresh salmon, sea lion, and whale. The boy who befriended the eagle became himself the most revered of figures, a noble chief who taught the lesson of how man and nature must always live in harmony. Frozen rivers slip imperceptibly by toward an ice-green sea. Glaciers are the simple outcome of gravity and time, monuments of ice that can bend and warp light into shades of tropical blue. Alaska's glaciers number into the thousands, and Glacier Bay provides some of the most dramatic vistas. The rush to Alaska used to be for gold, but now it is to witness Alaska's frozen beauty. Alaska's cool, green coastal waters are home to pods of orca, or killer whales. Legend has it that a young Tlingit hunter named Natsalani carved the first killer whale out of yellow cedar and magically brought it to life. Natsalani sent the whale on a mission of revenge to drown a small band of fellow hunters who had cruelly betrayed him. The whale obeyed Natsalani and killed the hunters by overturning their boat. But once this revenge was extracted, Natsalani ordered the killer whale to forever befriend man, to always be gentle and curious, a legend that has proven true to this day. Alaska's Inside Passage. Islands blot the waters and create a navigational maze, like the last pieces to a great continental puzzle. The very first European explorers of America's Northwest found the Inside Passage a complete mystery. Within a few hundred feet of shore, they could find no bottom to the sea. The tides would put the most seasoned captain in peril. The natives feared gods and deities lurking in the depths. And there were monsters in the deep. The humpback whale, one of Alaska's most mystical and elusive creatures. Migrating through Alaska's summer waters, humpbacks surface for air in tranquil arcs, or disappear completely in a thunderous splash. The humpback only is witnessed in moments, which makes a sighting so valuable. England's George Vancouver charted the passage in scientific detail. Frequently cloaked in fog, the majesty of the landscape did not escape his writings. But even in 1794, Vancouver's journal describes the forests exhibiting the visible effects of the axe and saw. The Inside Passage today is simply the most exhilarating stretch of water on the American West Coast. And much of it remains just the way George Vancouver witnessed it over 2 centuries ago. The towns that line the Inside Passage are few and far between. Isolated islands of humanity along an ever-changing coastline. Angoon, the only permanent establishment on Admiralty Island, is a purely native community. 1,000 Tlingit residents call it home, holding on to as much tradition as possible. While Angoon has ties to commercial fishing and forestry, the true desire is to live off the land, just as their forefathers. The sea takes on many meanings along the Inside Passage, depending on which world you come from and where you want the waters to lead you.
Somehow we think of islands as places apart, islands of peace, islands of beauty, islands of tranquility. And these islands, the magnificent San Juans, are all those and more. For if gentleness and solemnity and contemplation have a home, surely this is it. The endless play of waves upon uncounted beaches lulls away all trace of stress and strain. The ceaseless rhythm of water over pebbles is mesmerizing in its enervating cadence. No care can long survive the spell of these magical islands. And when cares are gone, when worries vanish, we're left with hearts laid open to romance, to dreams, to flights of idyllic fancy that bring us inevitably closer to ourselves. A spectral spirit, born of dreams and dreamers. An unexpected forest, rooted in yesterday, rising into tomorrow. Here in the Pacific Northwest, no land stands fallow. Upon all ground, something grows. Upon this land grows Seattle. The city hugs the shore as if sustaining itself by the power of the reciprocating tide. Seattle defines the Sound, and the Sound defines Seattle, as together they wrap themselves sensuously around the lithe, curvaceous beach, trading a regulated urban grid for a more sweeping, more creative attitude, commuting by ship, skiing the wind, plowing forward in eager, restless anticipation. A spectral spirit born of dreams and dreamers. The clattering tin-horn dreams of starry-eyed prospectors. The robust and muscular dreams of lumberjacks. Airmen and their dreams of soaring. Seamen with their dreams that reach out beyond horizons. And millions more haunt Seattle's twinkling nights. All these and millions more built this forest of glass and light and endless possibilities. To gaze upon this city is to gaze upon a field of stars, one for every vision ever born here, one for every dream ever dreamed. The rivers ran thick with liquid earth, and mighty forests were brought to their knees. And the air was filled with the roar of 1,000 battles and the dust of 1,000 armies. Day turned to night, and in the blink of an eye, Mount St. Helens, the brilliant southern jewel of the Cascade Crown, self-destructed in a pyroclastic spasm of rage and fury. She stands now in lopsided disfigurement, a curiosity, burned out, blasted facsimile of her former self. Yet if one looks carefully enough, there is still a haunting echo of a previous beauty, regal bones beneath scarred skin. Or is it a distant reflection of something more disquieting? Is it the realization that, having endured her cruel fate, deep inside St. Helens, an angry fire burns still? If Washington has one central theme, one magnetic pole, one essential self, this is it. Mount Rainier. No other symbol so defines us. No other monument so captures our imaginations, our dreams, and our aspirations. Monolithic in reality, yet in our hearts and in our souls it stands larger still, larger than life, symbolically visible from every corner of the state. Rainier seems to represent the values at our core: challenge, struggle, pride, and ultimately, achievement.
Hawaii, formed by volcanoes in the depths of the Pacific. America's newest state is still being born today. On the Big Island, Kilauea erupts, billowing ash and steam. Superheated lava slithers downhill and adds a few cubic feet to the bulk of our 50th state. In Hawaii, water is everything. A deity that drenches ferns, palms, the fragrant blossoms that form leis. Water irrigates the acres of pineapple, cane, and coffee, laps on small, secret beaches. Water carves the very shape of the islands, forms endless blue horizons in every direction.
"2,000 years old, 300 feet tall, the California redwood seemingly as an immortal sentinel over the North Coastal Range. These forests have an oppressive effect on the mind, an early explorer noted. A deep silence reigns. Almost the only sound is that of some torrent coming down from the mountains, or the distant roar of surf breaking upon the shore of the Pacific. At sunrise, for a precious moment, San Francisco becomes El Dorado, the mythical kingdom of gold Spanish explorers forever sought. It has been said that all the great cities of history have been built on bodies of water. Rome on the Tiber, Paris on the Seine, London on the Thames. If this is a criterion for greatness, wrote Californian Harold Gilliam, then San Francisco must surely rank first with its bay. Since California's gold rush days, the city and its setting have cast a spell over all who venture here. You know what it is? John Steinbeck once said. San Francisco is a golden handcuff with the key thrown away. It is hard to believe that any body of water so vast eluded early coastal explorers for well over a century. But the seas and fog of the Golden Gate obscured any semblance of a port. It wasn't until 1769 that Spaniard Gaspar de Portola came upon an opening along the coastline and sailed into San Francisco Bay. So astonished by its proportion, he wrote in his log, "All of Europe's navies could take shelter here." Indeed, today, every imaginable craft plies these waters. Over the many years naturalist John Muir spent in Yosemite, it is clear that when he was in these mountains, the mountains were within him. The valley comprehensively seen looks like an immense hall or temple lighted from above, he wrote in his journal. But no temple made with hands can compare with Yosemite. Every rock in its walls seems to glow with life. Some lean back in majestic repose. Others, absolutely sheer, or nearly so for thousands of feet, advance beyond their companions in thoughtful attitudes. Sierra is Spanish for saw, an apt description for the razor-sharp ridges that slice into the blue California sky. From a distance, they appear as a uniform wall fashioned from pearly ice and snow. It is only when you are upon them do you realize that they are a stormy sea of granite, whipped by nature into one cresting wave after another. A progression that is both terrifying and beautiful. An Eastern newspaper once described Greater Los Angeles as 6 suburbs in search of a city. Today, that could be 60 suburbs, with no offense taken. The truth is, LA is a place that constantly is reinventing itself. A place whose strength is its diversity, whose charm is change.
Well, good morning, LA. I'm just over the downtown area, and there's no unusual backups to report. So why don't I just tell you about the usual backups? It's one of those days. It's great to be flying, not driving. However, northbound things look pretty good. But if you're heading southbound, may I suggest valet parking? Things are pretty much cleared out, Jim. From up here, it's going to be a great day in L.A.
The Los Angeles area. What was once a lazy expanse of citrus and sun has given way to avenues and boulevards and blocks after blocks with rivers of freeways flowing at flood stage. It is immediately apparent that no city has ever been produced by such an extraordinary mixture of geography, climate, economics, demography, mechanics, and culture, observed architectural writer Rayner Banham. Nor is it likely that even a remotely similar mixture will ever occur again. "60 miles from the Sierra's loftiest peaks, past small desert towns and the last vestiges of cultivated earth, the landscape plummets below sea level to California's Death Valley." Early Shoshone Indians called the valley Tomesha, ground on fire. For many pioneers, their quest for the California dream ended right here, evaporated in temperatures over 130 degrees. Frank Norris wrote in his historical novel McTeague, "Everything as far as the eye could reach lay inert, absolutely quiet and moveless under the remorseless scourge of the noon sun. The very shadows shrank away, hiding under sagebrushes, retreating to the farthest nooks and crevices in the canyons of the hills. All the world was one gigantic blinding glare, silent, motionless." On the morning of September 28, 1542, Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo sailed into this bay, stepped ashore to claim the land officially for Spain, and became the first European to discover what is now California. Today, the great city of San Diego now stands where Cabrillo did. And each day, the mightiest Navy ships in the world retrace Cabrillo's route into the oldest port in the West.
Even today, the approach to the Front Range of the Rockies is a daunting sight. To the early wagon trains making their way across the Great Plains, the steady upward climb tested the soul. Many did not go further. Others eventually were able to make their way through the mountains and across the Continental Divide. One major route threaded through the American Southwest and passed by a desert plateau so deeply cut with canyons, so jumbled with buttes and pinnacles of eroded rock, that it defied careful exploration until this century. This red rock country is another world. Gone are trees and grass, for here water is scarce. Yet millions of years ago, broad inland seas formed this land, first lying on it until the earth heaved upward, then gnawing through the rock to form deep canyons, buttes, and tall monoliths, bridges and arches, all bones of the earth's skeleton. As mysterious as the landscape are the people here. Tall, handsome Navajos, Hopis and Zunis, and above all, the ghosts of the Anasazi, the ancient ones, who built their villages in cliffside caverns, farmed the green bottomlands 1,000 years ago, then were driven away by drought. Still, this country always has been, always will be a sacred place. Texas always will be a giant among states, in size, in money, talk, politics, in the hearts and the hopes of its outgoing people. If you look at a map of America, Texas forms a fifth corner of the country and stakes out its own unique identity. It stands for crops, cattle, oil, air, and space, the Dallas Cowboys, and a few real ones, too. San Antonio, a city steeped in rich Spanish and Mexican traditions. The San Antonio River meanders through the heart of town. Mariachi music often fills the air. Remember the Alamo, Sam Houston cried to rally his troops to independence from Mexico. Here, the Alamo still is cherished today, along with Texas's other Spanish missions. Galveston became a huge port after the discovery of oil turned Texas upside down nearly a century ago. Wildcatters and dirt farmers became millionaires overnight, and sleepy truck stop towns gave way to ultra-modern cities like Houston. Just up the road from Houston is another spread, not too big, only about 32 acres. They call it downtown Dallas, the Big D. With all its glitz, it likes to think of itself as the ideal American city. And maybe it is. It grew from this soil because people here believed in the future, reached for it, risked all for it. And they fully deserve all they've gained of it. Dallas, a great city in a great state. We all could stand to do a little bragging about Texas. Morning in Chicago. Carl Sandburg once described this city as a stormy, husky, brawling city of big shoulders, hog butcher for the world. That was in 1916. Chicago has outgrown its brawling image and transformed into a mighty Midwestern city. Once known as America's freight handler, its trains now transport tens of thousands of commuters each day. And though the greater Chicago area retains some of its industrial strength, the city's wealth is now showered on soaring buildings, museums, galleries, and parks, creating one of the most striking city profiles in the nation today. Chicago is America's kind of town. Part of Chicago's charm can be measured 4 beats to the bar, 12 bars long. It's a simple progression called the blues. And Chicago is home to some of the best players in the world. In the words of one piano player, Memphis Slim, all the joints in Chicago, man, they really rock. They rock all day and all night, and they never stop. That's why I live in Chicago, so I can have a good time. You feel mighty free and easy and comfortable on a raft, said Huckleberry Finn. His creator, Mark Twain, knew the mighty Mississippi in all its varying moods. Today's rivermen are a bit busier than Huck Finn. Their rafts, with thousands of tons of cargo, could be measured by the acre. The Mississippi River is America's #1 highway, traveling between 3 and 6 miles an hour. There's only one rapids to skirt, but knowing the channels and navigating still can be a chore. One traveler noted, the current is right there, ready to ruin your life. St. Louis, gateway to the west, framed by its gleaming arch. The city is a natural crossroads, where the Missouri's muddy waters join the Mississippi and drift on down to New Orleans and the Gulf. In the early 1800s, nearly all westward trucks started from right here. And if the arch had been standing in 1802, Lewis and Clark themselves might well have passed right under it. Morning in Philadelphia. Crew boats share the river with a working tug. In the heart of the city, golden sunlight spills across the same streets that Ben Franklin knew back in 1776. The year a young Tom Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. No wonder William Penn stands so tall in bronze above his city. Never did a man's concept for a colony blossom so extravagantly as here in Philadelphia at Independence Hall. Statesman Henry Adams wrote, "Had New England, New York, and Virginia been swept out of existence in 1800, democracy could have better spared them all than have lost Pennsylvania." Philadelphia was our country's capital at the time of the Declaration. But the national government that finally rose to implement our new independence found a home about 100 miles away on another river, the Potomac. It was Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. was carefully planned to house the seat of a daring experiment, a democracy run by laws based on a written constitution. In D.C.'s early days, the federal government was small. The capital remained a mere town. But as our nation built its memorials to brave deeds and gained its heroes and heroines, the little southern town rose to lead a great nation to prosperity. Through times of peace and times when service and sacrifice were required to preserve America's freedom and democracy. Each year, millions of Americans come to Washington, D.C. to stand silently beside exquisite monuments, to gaze upon the great symbols of democracy for the world. I lift my lamp beside the golden door, it says on the Statue of Liberty. Here is the golden door, New York City. ring a bell in distant corners of the world. Far from America, the litany of buzzwords is familiar. Broadway, Wall Street, Times Square, the Chrysler and Empire State Buildings, Central Park. As the cliche goes, it's the city that never sleeps. New York moves to its own rhythm, its own beat, and the pace never stops, even under the cover of darkness. Morning in Iowa, the very heart of America, like a Norman Rockwell painting. The school bus is just as yellow in Kauai as in Calais, Maine, 5,000 miles apart, from one end of the United States to the other. How does each day begin in America? It may stir us to get the kids to school, stack wood against the farmhouse for the coming winter, commute to the city for another day of work. The rituals are as varied as the land itself. Americans are a diverse and caring people, and wherever we live, as the new day lights our country, it also illuminates our tasks, our ideals, our hopes, our plans for this incredible land, the place we call home. America.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious sky.